The seer's eye is a symbol associated with a small but influential insurgent cult in the Norse world. Its first depictions are in caves in Finland, Sweden, and Norway, painted with a reddish-brown paint made of iron oxide and blood, which dates from between 5000 to 2000 BC. It gained special notoriety, however, when it became associated with the seers and other practitioners of Norse magic during the Viking Age. The symbol itself is displayed as a vertical eye shape, rotated 90 degrees from the orientation of the ordinary human eye. The outline of the eye is created by two snakes, or serpent creatures, each consuming the other's tail. This depiction could be Jormungandr, one of the children of the giantess Angrboda and the god Loki. This and the other elements of the design would strongly associate the seer's eye with Loki. Two marks, one on either side of the eye, have had various interpretations, including thorns and even additional pupils, a theory which is sometimes supported by what may be the oldest representation of the seer's eye, which appears as a cluster of three irises crudely depicted in a Norwegian cave dating to 5000 BC. The seer's eye may have remained obscure, but for a sudden resurgence of the symbol starting around the year AD 850, with the emergence of a cult and splinter group of Norse seers and magical practitioners called the Cult of Gerd. Its members would paint themselves with the eye, or even tattoo it on their foreheads or palms, before conducting rituals of divination or clairvoyant magic. This was believed to assist them in seeing the future, through the veil of our world, into a mirror or shadow world, or simply scry into remote areas of the earth. According to stories, the genesis of this cult lies with a probably mythical woman named Gerd, who is said to have traveled through the Nordic world, teaching magic and performing miracles. Gerd is variously described as a hag, a crone, or a giant, but in almost all cases, she is considered one of the Jotun who came from the northern wastes. Many stories recount how she had the seer's eye on the palm of her hand and could use it to see things unseeable and know things unknowable, including the future and what lay at the hearts of men. The ritual magics associated with Gerd could be brutal. One ritual involved the consumption of a heart of a human woman, roasted upon a linden wood fire. Gerd claimed to be the servant of a powerful jarl on an idyllic island to the west, upon which Yggdrasil, the world tree, could be found. As she traveled, she also gave amulets of the seer's eye to her students, so they might identify one another. These were most often made of iron, but some curious specimens of a particular green stone also exist. Scholars of magic and the occult attribute the Nordic magical reawakening at that time to Gerd. The Norse settled Iceland about AD 874 and set eyes upon Greenland 50 years later. Perhaps the impetus for westward exploration had been fueled by the desire to find the mythical jarl who was Gerd's master, and Yggdrasil. But while the members of the cult were valuable to their village as seers, healers, and magic users, they nevertheless expressed an irreverence toward Thor and Odin, which ultimately caused a backlash against them. The members of this cult would not wear the hammer of Thor, but the seer's eye instead, making them easy scapegoats for any ills which might befall a village or region. The members of the cult faced exile to Iceland and then later to the Greenland colonies. Those who remained in Europe were often slain. The most brutal attack upon them occurred at Borg in the Lofoten Islands in Norway, which remained a continental holdout of the cult. In 1058, no less than 50 of its practitioners were burned to death, locked in their long houses. It is the largest mass grave of the cult, and the site from which the largest number of amulets of the seer's eye have been recovered. After the massacre at Borg, the cult of Gerd went underground in Europe. But it surfaced enough in Denmark such that in 1186 it attracted the attention of Absalon, Bishop of Roskilde, who took early action through an episcopal inquisition under the authority of Pope Lucius III's papal bull to abolish malignant heresies. The bishop organized the priests and enlisted the help of rogue demon hunters, who would later become the Association of Witch Hunters that allied with the Inquisition in later years. They took action against the cult of Gerd at Nestved in 1187, breaking the cult in continental Europe. Nevertheless, the cult continued to endure for a time in Iceland and the Norse colonies of Greenland. The Seer's Eye is even mentioned in the Seerless Ulfhildr of Sandnes, part of the Lay of Tendertongue, though admittedly, the lay was not recorded in its current version until well after the events it describes. Though unique to the Norse peoples, the Seer's Eye bears similarities to the Egyptian magical eye symbols, especially the Eye of Chaos, but also the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus. The Seer's Eye is further connected with Egyptian alchemy by the similarities of Jormungandr in the Seer's Eye and the Ouroboros. Some scholars also see a connection between the Seer's Eye and the Hopi God's Eye, the Eye of Providence, and other ancient eye symbols. The similarities have fueled theories of a one-world religion that was once practiced by a world-spanning ancient civilization, but such associations remain speculation. Today, the Seer's Eye is often displayed by those who purport to maintain the magical tradition Gerd imparted to the Norse centuries ago. They will sometimes hold vigils in Borg and Nestved for the slain members of Gerd's cult, and at sites where Gerd was supposed to have performed miracles, thanking her for the magical initiation she brought to the world. Some even call her Thok, an Old Norse word for thanks. The Seer's Eye, an excerpt from the Encyclopedia Magica by Jasper M. Griggs, Professor of Anthropology at Miskatonic University.